3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. That's not the actual intro. I wanted a reaction from you.
I was like, what the fuck? Calm down.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Friends Rewatch podcast. Now, my name is Jared Weathers. That's my mom. You can call her mom. That's cool. I was making that decision for her right now. What's up, Mom?
Not much. How's it going?
That's going all right.
All right.
So maybe for those of you who don't know, Friends was a show started in 1994, went to 2004, went a whole 10 years. Kind of wild. Probably the most, I think it's the most watched show from the 90s.
Yeah.
I believe.
And I never watched it.
That's wild.
So here we go.
It's on for 10 years. You can watch it right now on Max, which is what I watched it on because I'm cool.
I watch it on Hulu.
Oh, sorry.
There's that.
You haven't watched any Friends or just a few episodes?
I watched like an episode here and there on TV, but I've never actually like watched.
Okay, so you didn't watch it all the way through?
No, okay. Not at all. There's a lot of it I don't know anything about. So,
okay. Now I'm going to ask you a couple questions before we get into the plot here. Did any of your friends watch it at the time?
Oh yeah.
Like
almost every. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know why I never really watched it. I wasn't really into it. Didn't watch it.
That's another question I already forgot. So
perfect.
Yeah. All right. Oh, are you gonna have any memories of that time? Something you can like. My friends talked about. I told them to shut up.
No,
nothing like that.
Probably not.
No.
Right. We didn't really talk about it. I didn't really engage.
Interesting.
I don't care for Lisa Kudrow, so I didn't really watch it.
I just shut down and disassociated while they talked.
That's all right.
If you guys want to know the whole history behind Friends on Max, there's a reunion show, which is kind of spoiled because it's hosted by James Corden.
Oh.
And I'm like, that kind of ruins it. They did it during COVID. They did have like a little bit of like a group, but it was mostly the production people that worked on it and the creators of it. But it's pretty good. It goes through the entire show, and they talk about their experiences. That's not what this is for. This is just to watch it back with 2024. We're filming this in 2024, but it will come out in 2025. 2024/2025 eyes.
Mm-hmm.
There are a couple things later on we'll get to. So let's just hop into this.
Okay.
The director of the episode was James Burrow. He did a lot of the early episodes.
Okay.
How much of production for TV do you know?
None.
No production. So
no.
Usually you don't have the same director for more than a couple episodes on TV. So doing 4 or more in a row is kind of special.
Oh, okay.
All right. So because they usually try to get different directors in because they have different visions.
Right.
And they're usually just like contracted, not salary on the show.
Gotcha.
It was written by David Crane and Martin Kaufman, which were the creators of the show, 2 of the creators of the show. They wrote a lot of the episodes. Obviously, it comes from their life.
Right.
Where they're pulling from. So it premiered on September 22nd, 1994.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to guess how many viewers it had, the first episode?
I don't know. I'll say 400,000 viewers.
21.5 million.
Yeah, I kind of wondered if it was going to be in the millions.
I was like 400,000. That's nothing.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if you know this, Jennifer Aniston was actually on a different show when this show came up.
Yeah, I did know that. And
the other show did not get picked up.
Right.
Which is very funny. Because she was going to be friends and go work on that show full time. And Marta Kaufman told her not to do that.
Well, yeah, good thing because she made a lot of money on this show. So
also, if you guys didn't know, she was also in the first Leprechaun movie.
Yeah.
That came out in like '92, I believe.
Yeah.
So I think that was her first acting role ever. What was that movie?
Huh.
Yeah. So good movie. Check it out. All right. So I'm just gonna go on the plot here. We begin in a coffee shop called Central Perk, which is a joke because Central Park.
Right.
We see 4 friends sitting around a coffee table discussing one of the friends going on a date. Now, the first thing I will say before we get further into this is the way that and it's a pet peeve for me. They didn't introduce anybody.
Right.
They just kind of we're in on people talking.
Yes.
Like, okay, well, these are going to be the characters, but we don't know any of their names.
Right.
Except they say Phoebe once.
Right.
That's it. I didn't notice that watching it the first time. I was like, why didn't they didn't say anybody's names? One of the guy friends recites a dream. I believe it was Joey.
Yes.
Correctly.
I think so too.
We see another friend come in. He's in a bad state. Well, we'll eventually learn everybody's names. We find out that his ex-wife is a lesbian, and that's why they're divorced. He's very sad about it. And you wonder why everyone gets fixated on that detail. The guy in the leather jacket we see is trying to make his friend go to a strip club.
Right.
Which is very 90s, I think.
Yeah, probably.
Like, hey, man, let's go to a strip club.
That will fix
it. Will solve all your problems. Up to this point, we've only established a name. Oh, it's actually the ex-wife's name. It's Carol.
Carol.
So we don't even know any of the main characters' names at this point.
Right.
Because it's like a good 5 minutes of just talking, and no one says a name.
I guess I didn't really notice it because coming to watch it now, I already knew who they all were.
Right. You know who it is now.
Right.
But when
it first starts,
you're like,
yeah.
Who are these people? Like,
Right.
We're not even sure if these are the people. Wow.
Oh, calm down.
Sorry, I talk with my hands. Sorry. So far, that's all we know. Until the divorce guy says he wants a wife, and a woman in a wedding dress walks into the coffee shop.
Mm-hmm.
We finally get some names. The one in the dress is Rachel. The person she's talking to is Monica. The leather jacket guy is Joey. I forgot to put this in my notes, but Phoebe actually makes like a aura cleansing motion, and Ross tells them to stop.
Yeah,
that's Phoebe. And the jokey guy is Chandler, the guy who's always sarcastic.
Yeah, right.
Monica also points out her brother Ross, who's the divorced guy with the lesbian ex-wife. His umbrella opens inside, and they want to know what happened. Now, watching this, where you're like, man, he's gonna have bad luck.
Ross?
Yeah, because his umbrella opened inside. You're not supposed to do that.
Right, yeah, but I didn't.
That's a bad juju.
I didn't really think that he was gonna. Well, yeah, he has bad juju anyway, but
that is true.
I don't know if it's because of the umbrella.
I mean, he never know. He might have done it before. You don't know. Rachel
Right on.
Rachel recalls about an hour and a half before the wedding, getting cold feet.
Yeah. And
thought her fiance looked like Mr. Potato Head.
Right.
Which was very funny.
Yeah.
We cut to the friends in a nice purple apartment. Rachel's on the phone as her friends watch a Spanish novella, which I always think is interesting. They show this a lot throughout the series of them watching Spanish language shows. It must be like a New York thing.
Maybe. Because
there's so many Spanish people that live there. And
right.
Spanish-speaking people that live there. Because we don't really have that here.
No.
Just random Spanish-speaking channels.
No, we
very
do not.
Specific. So I was like, that has to be like a New York thing.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just a friend's thing.
It could also be that. She said that she, I don't really understand this metaphor she says, but that she's like told her whole life that she's a shoe and that she wants to be a hat. And she said it's a metaphor. I'm not really sure what the metaphor is for specifically.
I'm guessing that she wants to be on top and not on the bottom.
Well, I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know.
It doesn't really make sense in the whole conversation she's having with her dad.
I mean,
and she doesn't want to marry someone that she doesn't love, but the metaphor doesn't mix.
Right.
I'm not really sure what the point of it was.
There's a lot in this show that doesn't make sense. So
there is.
It's got to kind of roll with that.
Yeah, it's kind of got to roll those punches. And she says that she'll stay with Monica because she doesn't want to go back to her parents' house because they're not forcing her to marry Barry.
Right.
We cut to sometime later. Phoebe starts singing the song "All My Favorite Things" from The Sound of Music. I don't know if you caught that.
I did, yeah.
And she forgets some of the words.
Right.
Which is very funny. Rachel says she's feeling better after that, just to kind of get her to stop.
Right.
Monica's reassuring her. Joey hits on her because
that's what Joey does.
Who he is.
Yeah.
Paul, the wine guy, is here, which is someone that Monica talks about a lot.
Yeah.
I think we also see him again a little later.
I think so.
Also, they all say hi. Ross asks Rachel what she's doing today, and she says nothing since her wedding ended, obviously. Ross invites her over to help him put up his new furniture. She says no. Honestly.
Right.
Who wants to put up
right.
Because of the guys putting the furniture together, interspersed with Monica and Paul's date, which is really funny to me that, like, we haven't gotten to this part of the episode, but eventually it comes out that he is just using a line on her that he uses on everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm like, could you get away with that back then? Apparently.
I mean,
he did.
I think you could probably get away with it even now. Really.
You definitely could.
If nobody knew who you were and you just kept.
Yeah, Ross is sad, obviously, because it was,
Yeah, because he was left.
Yeah. Joey tries to help out. Joey tries to help out a lot in the series, and it doesn't
work out.
Monica wants to know what Paul wants to say because he's kind of like, oh, I don't know if I should say it. Really trying not to say it. Says he can't perform in bed while Rachel is watching reruns of Joni Loves Chachi. Did you ever watch that show?
No.
Oh, wow. You should watch any TV when you're a kid, huh?
I did, but not that stuff.
Not that stuff. The cool stuff.
Yeah.
Ross is giving Joey crap for his grab a spoon metaphor. Again, metaphor, not really making sense, but they try. We cut to the next day. Rachel's making coffee for the first time. Paul and Monica come out of the bedroom. Chandler has to get to work, and Rachel says, as if they all have jobs. Obviously, she comes from a very wealthy family.
Right, so
you don't really have to have a job. And they all say yes, obviously. Joey reveals he's an actor, which is interesting, because he's not very good.
No.
But we'll get to that later.
Not at all.
No. Monica has to go to work, and Rachel asks, or says she's going to get a job too.
Yeah.
Doesn't go very well.
No.
Monica is talking to her coworker and realizes Paul is lying just to sleep with her, which we already talked about. Joey gets thrown off a couch because he's mocking her because of this. Rachel bought new boots and wants to stop living off her parents, which is kind of not really making sense. Because then they ask her who pays for the credit card. She's like, well, my parents.
Right.
So they want to cut it up.
Right, so they cut them all up.
That's right. Phoebe recalls her entrance to the city and casually mentions that her mom and the guy she was living with in NYC both killed themselves. The common denominator there is Phoebe. Sounds very, very interesting. Rachel cuts up a card, and Monica asks Ross if he's going to sleep on the couch again because he's very sad. It's just a very sulky
yeah,
kind of
he really is.
And he says no because he needs to go back home. Rachel finds Paul's watch, and Monica says you can just put it back, and then she steps on it.
Yeah.
Have you ever done that?
Stepped on someone's watch?
Yeah, that made you upset?
They didn't really, no. People I hung out with didn't really have watches.
They didn't really wear watches. We're too cool for watches.
I mean.
Yeah, then Rachel and Ross share an Oreo cookie, as Ross tells her that he used to have a crush on her back when they were in high school.
Right.
And she says that she knows. I don't know if she actually knows, but she says she does.
Right.
So,
she probably did know Ross is weird. He
is a weird guy. He wants to know if he could ask her out, and she says maybe, which he gets, it's kind of like cool. Oh yeah, and then the post-credit scene shows Rachel got a job at the coffee shop that they offered.
Yeah, and she's not good at that job.
No, she is not.
At
but
all.
She'll have it for a while. For like a third of the show, I think she has this job that she sucks at. So
okay,
yeah. So what are your thoughts on the first episode? What did you think of it?
It was. I liked it.
Yeah.
Again, I'm trying hard to get through it. Lisa Kudrow's not one of my favorite people.
Sure.
And the way she portrays her, and how do you say this? She's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
It's kind of annoying, but it's okay. It's just because I just don't care for her. But I also find it, I don't know if it's just me, but I think it's weird the way that Ross and Monica's relationship is as a brother and sister. It's a little odd sometimes.
Yeah, it can be.
It's like, what are you doing? You're supposed to be related. Like, I don't know. It's weird.
I also thought that because I have brothers, and which
yeah, obviously. But yeah, like, I don't know. It was just, I'm like, why are you doing that? That's weird. That's your brother. Like, I don't know.
There's something.
Some of the interaction is weird,
and they're like joking about stuff, and I'm like, I don't think I would joke about that.
Yeah,
I joke about it with probably like my friends,
right?
Maybe a distant cousin.
I mean, I have 3 brothers, and the things that they do is weird to me. I'm like, why do you, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's weird. Sure. Some of that interaction is weird to me.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you a question while we're here doing this. So usually when I do my movie reviews, I usually rate the movie. Because this is a TV show, we're going to have lots of episodes to talk about.
Right.
Would you rather just rate the season as a whole, or do you want to go episode by episode?
Let's do the seasons as a whole, because I think that will. Because if you do episode by episode, by the end of it, you might be, right. You know what I mean? I might rate that differently, or as you go on. But I think we should do it as a season. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think it's funny that you didn't watch the show.
Yeah, no.
But it was on.
Like I said, a couple times I've seen a few episodes when it was on TV.
Yeah.
Didn't really sit and actually watch it though. I don't know why. I just really wasn't my thing back then. I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it happens.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I never really watched it.
But did you watch it? That's what I want to know. Did you watch this? Did you watch the show at all, or did you binge it like I did after it came on the Netflix back in the late 2010s, and now on Max, obviously, because it's owned by Warner Brothers. So I want to know what you think about this episode. Go ahead, leave a comment below, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm going to try to do this. Well, we're both recording at the moment. And we'll see what happens. But I want to try to get a new schedule down. So we'll see what happens there. But anyway, thank everybody for watching this first episode of the Friends Rewatch podcast with my mom. And we'll see you next time. We're supposed to say it together.
Oh, you didn't alert me of that.
Sorry. I pointed at you.
Oh, I didn't realize.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. All right.
Do that later.